And United States pledges to amplify Nigeria's ambition to join United Nations Security Council and other global bodies. President Bola Tinubu has assured the organised labour that their understanding, patience, commitment and support in the course of implementing his administration's policies and programmes will not be taken for granted. Vice President Kashim Shettima, who represented the president, gave the assurance as the nation marks the 2024 Workers' Day at the Eagle Square, Abuja. State House correspondent Abdulrahman Jibrila reports.
An event celebrated on the first day of May annually to honor the contributions of workers and appreciate their role in building resilient society and productive economic growth for national development. And the federal government has restated commitment to ensure workers' welfare as it is part of the renewed hope agenda of the Tinubu administration, which will be sustained.
This commitment ensures alignment of Nigeria's labor administration system with international best practices. While the three pillars of the agenda seek to drive growth, equity and sustainability for present and future generations, they require us to prioritize investment in people's capabilities, enhance investment in work institutions, and promote decent and sustainable work.
Vice President Kashim Shettima said a government is open to the tripartite suggestions of not only a minimum wage package, but a living wage, as every initiative undertaken by the Tinubu administration is geared towards transforming Nigeria into a nation that can truly provide for its people.
Great Nigerian workers, we cannot achieve a just and equitable society that caters to the needs of every member, including the strong and the weak, without fostering peace and unity. Our shared vision for national growth and development can only be realized in an atmosphere of industrial harmony and peaceful coexistence in every segment of our country.
As the backbone of the workforce, the government appeals for continued use of power of the labor movement for a greater nation that will foster harmony and cooperation. In Abuja, Abdulrahman Jibrila, NTA News.
Meanwhile, as workers across over 80 countries commemorated this year's International Day of Workers, Nigerian workers came out en masse to celebrate their achievements, resilience and commitment to a prosperous nation. Elizabeth Omori compiled activities of the celebration covering the 6 geopolitical zones of the country.
In Kano, Sani Bashiru reports that as workers celebrate, the state government promised to improve their welfare.
Assuring and beneficial ways and means for workers to own decent and affordable shelter under the National Housing Fund scheme.
In Katsina, officials and trade union members gathered to press home their demands, which include better working conditions.
And the state government is going to work closely with the organized labor to ensure that we reduce the suffering that is inflicted on our workers.
In recognition of the contributions of workers to the growth of Plateau State, the state government implemented hazard allowance and improved transportation system for commuters and workers.
Efforts to address outstanding gratuities, debt benefits, and pension backlogs dating back to 1986 commenced in December 2023.
In Uyo, Governor Umo Ino approved additional 2 billion naira for the payment of gratuities across board.
We have approved and granted the release of the outstanding 7.5 contributory pension scheme.
Governor Obaseki appealed to governments at all levels to prioritize workers' welfare.
After 7 years,
we have created a new public service in Edo State.
Similarly, the Benue State Ministry of Finance has been tasked to expedite action on clearing arrears of salaries owed workers in the states. Ondo State Governor also promised to sustain industrial harmony.
Over 1,000 personnel in the health sector and 2,000 personnel in the education sector. 165 has just been recruited into our internal revenue services.
And Delta State Governor promised to work out modalities to look into workers' demands.
I am listening attentively to your requests and are taking obvious note of saying they are not bad legitimate demands, and as a responsible government, I will deliberate with my team on how best to address them.
Governor Zulum assured of continuous support in the states.
I urge all civil servants to key into our transformation agenda.
In Kebbi State, workers pressed on their demands, and the government promised to meet up with the state workers' demands to enable them continue working for the progress of the states.
We affirm our commitment to upholding the dignity and the rights of Kebbi State workers.
Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
Away from the Workers' Day celebrations, amid an inspection of road projects in Kogi State led by the Special Assistant to the President on Constituency Affairs, Karim Kadijat Omotayo, who has been actively engaging with state residents, the Kogi State government has reaffirmed its dedication and support to the President's Renewed Hope agenda. Jonathan Omajali reports that Deputy Governor Joel Salifu accompanied the President's Special Assistant during the inspection.
Shortly after a town hall meeting in Lokoja where far-reaching issues were deliberated on, Karim Kadijat Omotayo, the Special Assistant to the President on Constituency Affairs, embarked on a tour of the state capital. Accompanied by Kogi State Deputy Governor Joel Salifu, Omotayo inspected ongoing federal road projects in Lokoja and emphasized the President's call for quality work and timely completion.
The President wants quality, and you know what it really means if you do good quality road.
The Deputy Governor commended the President's commitment to improving the state's well-being and pledged continued support.
You decided to go around and see things yourself. Tell Mr. President that Kogi State is for him, 100%. Our loyalty for him is unshakable. Nothing can deter us from keying into his renewed hope agenda.
On the street of Lokoja, the team re-echoed the message of renewed hope. Jonathan Omajali, NTA News.
In the meantime, the federal government has reiterated commitment to addressing the root causes of malnutrition in the country by leveraging data from the National Food Consumption and Micronutrients Report. Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Mohammed Ali Pate, who said this at the launch of the National Food Consumption and Micronutrient Report, observed that the document provides insight into Nigeria's nutrition landscape. Bassi Taipang was there.
The 564 pages document, the Vice President Kashim Shettima represented noted, underscores the urgency for innovative strategies to promote nutrient-rich food consumption in the country. For the Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, the time has come for the country to move from faith-based to evidence-based policy-proven programming.
These are just among a few of the major transitions that Nigeria is going through. And I think when you listen carefully to His Excellency the President and his vision, his renewed hope agenda, it's really to make this transition work and work for all Nigerians.
While the team talked on the many twists encountered along the production line, partners promised to support the government in the implementation of the document described as a renewed hope for nutrition uptake in Nigeria.
Findings clearly stated that there was inadequate data for nutrition. So we had a stakeholders meeting in 2018, and it was clearly agreed. We all agreed there is a need for us to conduct a micronutrients and dietary consumption population-based study.
It is amongst the largest of its kind, Minister, in the region, on the continent, and I believe perhaps in the world. So there are many, many lessons.
In all, stakeholders and partners agreed that the nation now has the comprehensive data to work with that would change the narrative in the nation's nutrition issues. Basi Taipa, NTA News.
Scientists in the Nigerian biosafety and biotechnology space say Nigeria can be Africa's food zone if it fully embraces the development of genetically modified crops to address food insecurity. This is just as the Federal Ministry of Environment reiterated the government's commitment to continuing to prioritize human health and that of the environment. Charles Alpha reports.
Concern over the safety of genetically modified crops has heightened recently, with some civil society activists kicking against its adoption as they alleged it is unsafe for Nigerians. Although these concerns at this engagement meeting is deemed legitimate, there are equally assurances that science has proven application of GMOs in Nigeria is safe.
The area of biotechnology gives us hope for the attainment of food security. The country is blessed with over 20 research institutes that are working on the genetic improvement of the various crops.
The National Biosafety Management Agency is committed to providing a robust regulatory framework that safeguards human health.
Minister of State for Environment, Isiaq Salako, says the ideas around genetically modified organisms should not be driven by sentiments, but by facts and figures.
Biotechnology, without any doubt, has provided revolutionary breakthroughs in environmental science and agriculture. Our ministry is actively engaged in supporting and promoting biosafety measures.
Key players here believe while public outcry of safety is noted, there is no nexus between outbreak of any sort of diseases and genetically modified crops. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
You're watching the news at 10 on NTA News 24. More reports after this break. You're welcome back. The Ministry of Water Resources says Nigeria will end open defecation by 2025 through collaboration with stakeholders to take the Clean Nigeria campaign, use the toilet to all parts of the country. Minister of State for Water Resources and Sanitation, Bello Mohammed Goronyo, made this known when he played host to a delegation led by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Community Engagements, Abdullahi Tanko Yakasai. Uzman Zubairu reports.
Lack of access to basic sanitation remains a burden in Nigeria, with an estimate of 48 million people practicing open defecation. Currently, only 122 local government areas out of the 774 have been declared open defecation free. Minister of State for Water Resources and Sanitation, Bello Mohammed Goranyu, said the sanitation crisis poses a threat to the environment and to the health of citizens, particularly women, girls, and other vulnerable groups. He believed with a strong synergy with Senior Special Assistant to the President on Community Engagements will complement government efforts toward realization of the objectives, not only open defecation free, but in the area of water, sanitation, and hygiene.
Engaging our sister ministries like Ministry of Environment and Health to make sure that we come on board and key in, synergize, collaborate to ensure that we get it right.
So I believe with your presence, we'll be able to go far and get very close to 2025 to achieve our goal.
Leader of the delegation of Senior Special Assistant to the President on Community Engagement, Abdullahi Tonkoyaka, said, assured the Ministry of leveraging on their expertise and relationship they have built to take the campaign across the country.
So we think this is one key area too that we have to partner with you and see how we can end open defecation.
As an outcome of the visit, the Ministry and the delegation of Senior Special Assistants agreed to deepen collaboration and seek for improved funding of the program to meet 2025 target of ending open defecation.
Let's end open defecation by year 2025.
In Abuja, Usman Zubir, NTA News.
The House of Representatives Committees on Petroleum Resources, Midstream and Downstream have assured Nigerians that the logistics challenges hindering the supply of petroleum products, which recently resulted in queues in filling stations, have been resolved. Chairman of the committees, Ugo Chinyere Ikeaguonu and Henry Okoji, at a joint briefing in Abuja, urged Nigerians not to engage in panic buying as investigations by their committees reveal that the nation has a storage of over 1.5 billion litres of petrol that can last more than 30 days. They warned against acts of economic sabotage on the part of middlemen in the industry.
It is as a result of logistics challenges that the queues have resurfaced. These logistics issues range from difficulty experienced in transporting product from the mother vessels to onshore, movement of product with marine shuttle vessels, and disruption in the scrubbers channels, which have all been cleared. We have gotten the assurances from the regulators in the distribution value chain that these bottlenecks have been cleared.
We have engaged sufficiently with the appropriate authorities in terms of fuel distribution. And as of today, the report we are getting suggests that the fuel queues have started reducing and product have started arriving at the petrol stations.
The lawmakers assured that measures are being put in place to avert a recurrence of the situation. The United States has pledged to initiate a special dialogue to advance Nigeria's ambition in international affairs. U.S. Deputy Secretary of State Kurt Campbell disclosed this to a media briefing at the closing of the 6th Nigeria-U.S. Binational Commission meeting in Abuja that the U.S. will continue to support Nigeria's aspirations to join the United Nations Security Council, the G20, and other bodies. Garba Natala reports.
So I just want to underscore the United States stands with Nigeria in these ambitions. I don't need to tell you about the complexities of the Security Council, but we do believe that there are practical steps that both of us can take that will help advance what Nigeria seeks to achieve.
That is the United States Deputy Secretary of State speaking on Nigeria's global aspirations at the 6th Binational Commission Conference between Nigeria and the United States, which again presented other areas of collaboration between the two countries. Commitments made involve expanding their trade volume, investing in Nigeria's energy sector, ensure food security, improving healthcare and technology, among other areas. However, despite progress in security, Minister of Foreign Affairs Yusuf Tuga acknowledges progress made in degrading Boko Haram in the northeastern part of Nigeria. He stressed banditry and kidnapping remain a major challenge.
It's important to understand that Boko Haram has been completely degraded. Of course, we have challenges with banditry that are tied to some of the challenges we're being confronted with regards to local governments and local government administration. The effectiveness of local government. So this is something that partners like the U.S. can play a significant role.
Employment is another concern that 5 working groups provided recommendations to, and in tackling some of Nigeria's challenges in health, cybercrime, agriculture, and economic development, including adopting artificial intelligence. Having recognized Nigeria's potential, the United States encouraged more partnership and working closely, thereby bringing major concerns to an end. In Abuja, Garba Muhammad Natala, NTA News.
Now, the need to understand the challenges women face and appreciate their uniqueness is said to be not only a move in the right direction, but also an investment in their progress and inclusion in decision-making. This was stressed at a professional platform for the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations in Abuja. Haman Jabani reports.
With the theme Women in Leadership, Challenges and Prospects, the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations is turning its focus at achieving gender equality and women's well-being in all aspects of life. Women's active involvement in politics is said to remain a mirage due to the reluctant assumption that women's proper place is in the kitchen, even though women are saddled with challenges which include gender-based violence, discrimination at workplace, and exclusion in decision-making. Speakers say increasing women's participation in governance is essential to achieve gender parity, while increasing women's leadership slot can lead to the attainment of all-round sustainable development.
That for you to bring this subject, it means you are an advocate of gender equality. And gender equality does not mean the same treatment. Gender equality does not mean we are equal, or we are the same. But when you are talking of gender, we want to begin the chapter by saying who is in the gender.
The question is, can a woman in leadership cope, balance the roles, the role expectations, and succeed without losing herself in the process? My answer is an unequivocal yes, that we can.
The NIPR says more should be done, pledged to protect women's rights and advance gender equality in political sphere, and the Institute will continue to champion the cause of women in Nigeria.
It's important that we don't isolate women, and I would want to disagree here. For me, it's very important that we don't isolate women as a seasonal celebrities, that once in a year we have to come and celebrate women. I disagree. Women must be celebrated every day.
In our own special way, as a profession that recognizes women, we have decided that today we should honor our women, and a way of saying thank you, women, for all that you do for the development of society.
The meeting also received reports of various committees and also celebrated new fellows and members. Hamad Jabani, NTA News.
You've been watching the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Here's a look at our major stories. President Bola Tinubu appreciates patience and understanding of organized labor, pledges to prioritize workers' welfare. Federal government pinpoints use of accurate data to address malnutrition. And United States has pledged to amplify Nigeria's ambition to join United Nations Security Council and other global bodies. Well, that concludes the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Thanks for watching. I am Dennis Adegundoye. We'll have an update at the top of the hour.